Hey, what's up guys? Today we're at Frontier Justice going over why it is important to have a light on your EDC, range rifle, and your range pistol. All right, so on my EDC, I carry a TLR 7X, and this is the SIG 365 Macro Tac Ops. The TLR 7X is great for illumination. It's great for illuminating a room. It doesn't have a heavy throw on it like you would with my range pistol. This thing definitely spreads out the light instead of just focuses on one point. Yeah, so here is my range light. This thing is clear. The Surefire X300 Turbo. This is definitely something that has a lot of throw on it. I can identify my target out to 100 yards and do what I've got to do to eliminate the threat. It does have a little bit more standoff than the pistol, but honestly, I'm comfortable with it. I have a holster that fits it, and it works absolutely perfect. These things come in a USB rechargeable ones. They come in high price, low price, but the Surefire X300 Turbo is definitely the way to go for me. Now, for my range rifle, the Scout, Surefire Scout. I absolutely love this thing. I've got a pressure pad on it. It works just fine. I have had no issues with it at all. I use some Ranger bands to retain that pressure pad. You have an option to use a clicky cap, or you can do pressure pads. You can do all kinds of things with these. You can move it from your right side to your left side, whichever way. You can have as much standoff from the weapon as you want to mitigate shadow. I like mine a little standoffish, so about a ½ inch. That way I don't have too much of a shadow for my suppressor. Now, hand placement on these is crucial. You know, the more forward you are, the more natural it is, the better access you're gonna have to that pressure pad or that clicky cap. Don't have it too far back. You're gonna have problems accessing that pressure pad or that clicky cap. So put it in a more comfortable position. So it's the same with your range lights. It's the same with your EDC. They make all kinds of adapters for the buttons on the switches. They make all kinds of adapters, whether it's from Emissary or just something you could find off of any other website that has aftermarket parts. But preferably I like the Emissary because it's got a paddle instead of a push button. All right, so let's go over a quick scenario. It's a bump in the night, you hear something, and you've already got your weapon light mounted, all right? You don't have to worry about accessing your EDC light or accessing the old baton light, all right? So think smarter, not harder, make your life easier. Put a weapon light on. It helps you identify your target in the middle of the night. Now, a good discipline to have would be if I hear that bump in the night, I'm not turning my light on immediately, okay? What I'm gonna do is pie my corners, keep my ears open, keep my steps light, and when I notice a threat, that's when my light comes on. I don't want to give myself away in the middle of the night. Now, this is with all combatives. This could be close quarter, this could be from a distance, especially, you know, with what's going on today in other countries. The last thing you would want to do in the middle of the night is give yourself away. So personally, I believe in giving your opponent or threat, whatever you want to call them, two lights: the light that they see from the illumination and the light that goes bang. So presenting that light, you know, time is life. I say that all the time with shooting. So the quicker you are out of the holster, the more time you have on the trigger. The more steps that you can mitigate out, whether it's rolling your shoulders, chicken winging your arm back, you know, cut those little steps out. Time is life. So accessing that light at the last second for me is very crucial. I do not want to give myself away from the get-go. If I can give more time to myself to access my corners, I know my house better than them. So if I can remember my footsteps, remember the layout of my house, if I can access that without giving myself away and then give myself away at the last second when I have the advantage, game over. All right, so other advantages of having a weapons light. Rally points, all right? Letting your teammate know where you are and how you're doing. You can always give a quick flash. Hey, I'm good, give me two. You know, you can get on PTT and say, give me 2 flashes if you're okay. 1, 2, send me a rally point. Hit it on the ground. You can circle the area or hit it up in the trees. I wouldn't recommend hitting up the trees, but worst case scenario, you've got to illuminate up and cast a big illuminating spot. So I definitely prefer not aiming your weapon at your teammate. So off to the side, give them a couple clicks, or give them an area they can go to that's safe. Now that's just me. There's a lot of tactics out there. There's a million ways to skin a cat, but this is what I've done. This is what I've learned. Definitely, keep your weapon in pointed in a safe direction. Don't point it at your teammates. If you're gonna point it at anyone, it needs to be the threat. But definitely rally points, and this goes into IR lights. That's a different topic for another day, where you're all wearing nods and you can actually give a call out. They'll see that laser up in the air. But for you guys that are just running at night with your teams and working on small tactics, that's good stuff to start with in the beginning. Always give a signal or give halo lights on the ground. Yes, but I definitely believe in having a weapons light. It's the same as your EDC. You're not walking around with your weapons light pieing corners with that thing on, okay? You're turning it on when it's necessary, when it's time to take your threat out. This isn't something that you just keep on all night because you can't see. You've got to adapt and overcome. And this thing gives you that superpower right at the end for when you need to see your threat and eliminate. Locate, close with, and destroy. All right, so on this drill, we're gonna do 3 rounds to the A zone, move back to the 15, and we're gonna shoot 3 more rounds to the A zone. All right, this is gonna work on moving and shooting. It's also gonna work on presenting your light from a distance and up close. Here we go. Good. All right, so this drill is the exact same thing in reverse. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna do a modified Mozambique, which is 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. So this is 2 to the A zone, 1 to the credit card up top. Yeah. All right, so this drill, I'm gonna start the 15. This one's gonna be a moving and shooting, so I'm gonna be progressing my way towards the target. I'm gonna hear a beep, and at that time, I'll engage 5 rounds into the A zone. All right, last drill, we got to do it. We got to run a bill drill. This drill's always from 7 yards with 6 shots in the A zone. This works on recoil management, trigger press. This works on red dot, aligning your sights, whether it's a quick streak or a direct presentation. So 6 shots in the A zone. Let's get it. So there's a lot of ways to train on using your weapon light. Definitely first learn how to access your weapons light. Don't make it something that when you have to use, if you ever have to use this, let's make sure it's not the first time you ever have to use it and it's not in a life or death situation, all right? That the day something happens in your house, it's gonna be the worst day of your life. Let's not make it even worse by this having to be your first time ever accessing that light. So in saying that, you should be training, all right? You need to go to the range. You need to actually present your weapon to your target. You need to work that weak side thumb, and you need to learn how to access that light and turn it on and turn it off with that thumb. So, like I said, the Surefire X300 Turbo is a push or a lever. So if I want to access my light, I can push and turn off, all right? All I have to do is push and let off. Or I can flip the switch for constant on. Now, that's constant on. It's not gonna go off until I switch that lever. Now, if I push, that's a on and off, all right? That's whenever I please and whenever I want it. So Resilient Tactical, that's my company. I'm actually doing my first low light class next month. And this is gonna be the day where you can actually get that training in, all right? We're gonna be going around barricades. We're gonna be doing basically my level 1 class, but with a little bit of extra fun. We're gonna be learning how to properly go around an obstacle, how to shoot stationary from all the way up from the 3 back to the 25. We might even throw some 50-round shots in there just for fun, but definitely, we're definitely gonna get you trained up, because the first time you have to access this should not be that worst day of your life. This should be a constant training, all right? So find a range, find someone you can train with that has access to low light classes. Resilient Tactical, I do it all the time, all right? I test myself, I train with this, so I expect you guys to do the same. If this is what you're carrying, you need to know how to use your weapons and use your tools. Like I said, I carry the Streamlight TLR 7X. I absolutely love it. It does exactly what I need it to do, and it works for whatever I need to do. So find something that works for you, and remember, carry with confidence.